Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fan Experience podcast. We're on episode 21. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Katos. Alongside me is my co-host, Rick Molina. Rick, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Mike. I got the energy, got the passion. Big night tonight. A lot of sports, a lot to get into. So let's get to it.
Yeah. So obviously, we could start with you talking about your Yankees over here before we get a little bit more depressing talking about the other team. Your Yankees are up 7-2 right now in the bottom of the fifth. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Garrett Cole came out. He's throwing a tremendous game. He's in the bottom of the fifth. He's at 68 pitches. He's pitching well. Luke Voigt, Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge. I mean, the Bronx Bombers showed up in Cleveland tonight and just are tattooing the ball all over the field. And this is what we expected, right? The beginning of the season, when they started that short season, this is what we expected. Garrett Cole to be the dominant starter that he is. The Yankee lineup with Judge and LeMahieu and Torres just being on a tear, but we didn't expect the season that obviously Luke Voigt has, as we can see here, and it's just incredible. And they're up 7-2, and this is what I see the whole postseason. If they can get a solid pitching performance from Tanaka and from Cole and from Happ and all the others in the rotation, if they can just get a lead, I mean, I don't see any team beating them. I mean, it's practically over. Now, obviously, there's a lot more baseball left to be played. We got another 4 innings here. We got a couple of more series, but right now, my beloved New York Yankees, 27-time world champion, Bronx Bombers are off to an incredible start, and you can't ask more from Garrett Cole and the crew. So it's just an awesome start to the postseason.
Yeah, unfortunately, my Mets ended up in the cellar, but
yeah,
we have a lot of hope for next year now with the new owner coming in, and a lot of good things on the horizon for our Mets over here. But yeah, I mean, like you said, all the playoffs started. Astros, White Sox, and Rays all won. It's a best-of-3 series, and MLB says that they're going to keep it, even after all of this.
And they should.
Season. So yeah, they need something. They need to innovate, and they need to make it a little
100%.
bit more exciting. So having more teams playing meaningful games in September, October, obviously, it's going to make it more exciting. It's going to bring more fan bases in. It's just going to attract more fans. So that's the name of the game, right? I mean,
absolutely. Without
fans, what is sports? So
without those experiences, yep,
exactly. Without those fan experiences. So let's. So the Heat wrapped up their series and the Lakers as well. So it's going to be Heat Lakers tomorrow night, everybody. It's going to be a great series. LeBron against his former team. The storylines for that. Obviously, the Lakers are the favorites, but the Heat are a scrappy bunch, and they got 19-year-old Tyler Hero over there who could pop off at any time, and it's just fun to watch, and they're going to be a lot of fun games. I see it going minimum of 6 games.
I'd have to agree with you. I mean, the Heat are a scrappy bunch, and let's not forget Jimmy Butler's on that team as well. Adebayo. Bam Adebayo, I hope I'm saying his name correctly.
Yeah,
Tyler Hero. But the Lakers are heavy favorites. Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, obviously the great LeBron James, 10 NBA Finals appearances, just an incredible feat. And he just looks determined. He looks completely unstoppable in this.
Yeah.
And the question is, can the Heat create enough offense and be able to stop him defensively, obviously, to win the series? I think it's going to be exciting to watch. And I also think, LeBron doesn't want to say it, but I think in the back of his mind, he wants to beat his old team. He wants that one. He wants to beat his old team. And I think this championship, defines his legacy. Again, 10 NBA Finals appearances. This will be his 4th world title. It says a lot about him at his age at 36 years old. Look at I don't know when Jordan was his age. I don't know if he was playing at the level that LeBron is, but it's just, an incredible feat. So, but I'm with you. I think I said it before. I think we spoke about it that the Lakers going to win the title. I'm with you. Lakers in 6. I think the Heat take a couple of games, but at the end of the day, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, too much power, too much experience, and they're just going to win the title.
I didn't say Lakers in 6. I said the series is going 6.
Oh, so I'm taking Lakers in 6.
I don't know. I honestly,
I'm going. I like the Heat, but I'm going Lakers in 6.
I mean, they could pop off. So I mean, we got to see. I mean, that's why you play the game, right? So
as Herm Edwards say, you play to win the game.
Absolutely. And well, let's just give a congratulations to, a sport that wrapped up. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals, the Tampa Bay Lightning are your Stanley Cup champions. So congratulations to Tampa Bay, and all the kudos to you guys. And I mean, to beat the Islanders to get in there, so it's stinks a little bit, but it is what it is. Better team won, right?
Yeah, better team won. Kudos to them for winning. So it was a great performance, and I'm glad everybody was okay and kept in the bubble. And then we'll see next year.
Yeah.
Obviously with the Islanders coming back with some experience, maybe they can take the Stanley Cup next year. But congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning on winning their Stanley Cup.
Yeah, let's touch on a couple of the games from over the weekend. I guess we could start with the Super Bowl MVP versus the NFL MVP. And I mean, I thought it was going to be a shootout, and it was all Chiefs. Mahomes was just unstoppable last night. He's just tossing bombs, just moving the team down the field. Even with a 93-yard touchdown return from the Ravens, they didn't really show anything.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes makes this game look so easy. I mean, he makes playing quarterback it's something special to watch. I mean, yesterday, 4 TDs, 385 yards. I mean, it's incredible. The one throw that he did with a corner coming off the blitz, he threw it off his back foot, throwing it in stride. It was like a 57-yard, just dart. I mean, it's incredible how this kid plays. And look, the one thing about Lamar Jackson is this: he's a tremendous talent. But what you can start to see is if teams get a lead on him, they have a hard time coming back because the offense all of a sudden changes. It isn't the running. It isn't the surprising. It's you make him one-dimensional. He has to start throwing. I think he struggles there a little bit. And that's where he's got to take his game to the next level. He's got to be able to, when the Ravens get behind, he's got to be able to rely on his defense to get stops and then start taking the team down the field by throwing and attacking down the field. And that's the next step he needs to take. He's not at Mahomes' level yet. I think Mahomes is just –
Russell Wilson of his own,
completely in a class of his own. I mean, Russell Wilson is playing lights out, but Patrick Mahomes is I've never seen something like that, man, where the kid looks just completely like he's unfazed back there, takes a couple of steps, moves right, moves left, runs when he has to, doesn't get sacked, and just throws darts all over the place. And who's had a better year than Patrick Mahomes, right? Got a Super Bowl ring, a $500 million contract, part owner of the Kansas City Royals, got engaged, and now he's having a baby. So congratulations to Patrick Mahomes. You, my friend, are having
king of the world right now.
Yeah, on top of the world. Nothing can go wrong for the guy. So, but yeah, I believe he's going to be the MVP of the league. I mean, they might go 16-0, Mike. They're that good.
I don't know. I don't know if I could give him that one. That's a tall task right there. But Mahomes is certainly in a class all by himself. Yeah. And best quarterback in football. Will he win the MVP? I don't know. I like Russell Wilson's early season chances right now, but he's got to keep it up. Because Russell Wilson is carrying that entire
literally by himself. Him and DK Metcalf.
Mahomes has a lot of other pieces that are helping. That are helping that, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, right. Travis Kelce. Russell Wilson's. The names around him aren't as household as those guys are. So,
but still, that's a credit to the Chiefs organization, the general manager, being able to draft well. I mean, it's just they got speed all over the place. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah. Really quick before we bring our guest on, Falcons blew it again.
Man,
they should just turn in their whatever. Just turn it in. I mean, come on, they had Trubisky on the ropes. Trubisky got benched. Foles came in and threw for almost 200 yards in a quarter and a half. And, just came back from, what were they down? 2 touchdowns, 17 points, something like that?
Yeah, they were up 26-7, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and it was just a complete disaster after that.
They cannot close a game out, and it's pathetic to watch. So, at this point. But, they need to learn a lesson or two about closing from our next guest.
Yes.
Mr. Larry Long Jr.
Oh, shucks.
There he is. Maryland Terrapins. Here we go.
Always be closing, right? That's what they teach you, right?
Always be helping. Come on, baby. Batting lead off. Y'all done opened up Pandora's box. I've been listening. I love it. So hold on. You talked about the Lakers in 6. Come on, Cletus.
Yes.
If it wasn't about the money, they would sweep it, but the Lakers take it in 5.
Wow. I got to listen, man. That Miami team is a young, scrappy team. Spoelstra is an experienced coach, and Jimmy Butler, he's a dog, man. He's a beast, and I just think they got a little fight in them. I think they're going to win a couple of games there, and I think it in 6. But at the end of the day, listen, LeBron James, he's going to define his legacy with his 4th title.
I'm down with the king, and you got the king, and you got the brown. Come on, baby.
Yeah, and the brown gets his first. Yeah. It's incredible.
It should be a very fun series, without a doubt. It's going to be exciting and fun to watch. So Larry, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Happy to be here. I appreciate it. Rick and Mike, I'm happy to be a guest.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's take it back a little bit. So you're born and raised in Maryland, and then you moved around a little bit. But so tell us, who you grew up rooting for. Was it the Ravens?
It's crazy because as a youngster, I moved around so much. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Danville, Illinois, Grand Island, Nebraska. Who do you root for out there in Nebraska in the pro team? Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I actually went to elementary school with Rip Hamilton, who balled for UConn, got that national championship.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Balled for the Pistons. That's my dog, Coatesville, Pennsylvania. But I spent most of my formative years, middle school, high school, in Maryland. I played baseball for the Terps, played against your boy Mark Teixeira in high school.
Wow.
He was at Severna Park, and then at Georgia Tech. He was a beast when he was healthy. I mean, a switch hitter. And at the time, he was slim. That dude, he had some wheels. He could steal bases. A little bit later in his career, he kind of got cock diesel on us. But absolute beast. So, I've had a great journey. I never really had favorite teams. I always had favorite players. I like the speed guys, Ricky Henderson, McGee, Vince Coleman. Crazy. I used to love Benito Santiago behind the dish.
Yes.
Gary Carter was my dog.
Yes.
Mike Smith at the hot corner. I mean, I can go on and on about all the players that I just loved. But my parents, being that they were from Baltimore, they were Oriole fans, and then they were back in the day Indianapolis Colts fans. I remember I went to a game, Oakland A's, way back in the day against the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm cheering for the A's. That was the A's, Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson, the Bash brothers.
Yes,
and my mom was like, "You're gonna get us killed. We're gonna get beat up. You can't. I'm a 12-year-old kid. You can't tell me nothing." I'm like, "Shoot, let's go A's."
That's great.
Awesome. So tell us about Ricky Henderson, one of the best base stealers in the game, and you had your time in the spotlight over there when you were playing for Maryland, right? You had some wheels on you, right?
A little bit. I didn't do it like Ricky did. Ricky can't do it like Ricky did, but I had a good time. I used to have the stolen base record. Records are meant to be broken. Good old Charlie White, good kid, who broke it. But I got a son who just turned 11, and he said, "Dad, I'm going to get it back in the Long family." My son's name is Larry Long III. We call him Trey. He said, "I'm going to get that record back." Little does he know, he doesn't have the wheels that I had. He might be better as a football bruiser. He doesn't miss a meal. He's looking like Martin Carey. He's a little bit beefy, but hey, I'm not going to burst his bubble and spoil his dream.
Yeah, you got to give him the got to have the
confidence. Got to support him. So, Larry, let's talk about your time at Maryland. You went to Maryland. You graduated in 2000, but you were there when we spoke about this a little bit. Juan Dixon, Steve Blake. They won the national championship. Tell us about that experience. Tell us about how you were able to get the great Steve Blake, who played for the Lakers in the NBA, to come to Maryland. Tell us about that.
I was there on Stevie Blake's recruiting visit, and needless to say, recruiting, it ain't a game. You're selling. And essentially, you're selling a great experience. So needless to say, he came to Maryland for a reason. We gave him the full academic experience, I guess you could say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
College Park is fun times. And I guess you could say we were fitting to get loose. So, it was fun. It was great to see those guys. Stevie Franchise come on through.
That's right. Yeah, Steve Francis.
Terrence Morris, Lonnie Baxter, good old Stevie Blake. I mean, Taj Holden. I mean, those are my dogs. That squad that won that championship, just a really good group of guys. I was tight with the big 7-footer Mike Martisich, and then my homeboy Matty Hahn. His father Billy Hahn was one of the assistant coaches, so that was kind of my access in to the squad. But I mean, on the baseball side, we held it down. We weren't the best program. ACC being tough, being the farthest north team at the time. That was when the ACC was the real ACC, and I grew up. My father ran track for the Terps. So I grew up a Maryland fan. My sister, who's 10 years younger, she ran track for the Terps, long jump, triple jump. I was the black sheep of the family, literally and figuratively, playing baseball. They're like, baseball. I'm like, yeah, you run after you hit the ball. They said, okay, we'll let it slide.
Now, when you played baseball in college, what position were you playing? Were you a shortstop, center field?
Out, man, I was the first thing left out. I said, Coach, can I get in? He was like, nah, you can go down on the end of the bench. Nah, I'm just messing. My freshman year, it's crazy because I started off my college career 1 for my first 24. And I know you guys are cringing like, oh, damn, Gina.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It doesn't take a math major to know 1 for 24. That ain't good. That's way below the Mendoza line. That'll get you a pink slip. But essentially what happened is we went to UNC Greensboro. I called my dad. I was in tears. Hey, I don't belong Division I. I don't belong in the ACC. And my dad, he had gone down to that game. He traveled to watch me. He reached for that phone and yanked me up. He yoked me up. He said, boy, you can't have my name with a punk attitude like that. So
wow, okay.
He said, you better get back to the drawing board. You better get back on the tee, and you better get your mind right.
Right.
If you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to do it. And he said, I didn't raise you. Your mom and I didn't raise you to have that punk attitude like you have. And I shaped up, got back on the tee, and essentially UNC, North Carolina, came to town. I'll never forget it. My boss now, he pitched at Carolina. They came to town, and I was licking my chops. I got in, defensive replacement in the 7th inning. Bow, 2 for 2. I think my first hit, I got jammed. It went over the first baseman's head, but shoot, like Kanye said, you can't tell me nothing. I was feeling myself.
There you go.
I started on Saturday, 3 for 4, but who's counting? The batting average is creeping up. Started on Sunday, 2 for 4. That was all she wrote. Started the rest of my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. I was a captain. Went to minor league spring training with the Dodgers and the Red Sox.
Oh, okay.
And they said, thank you for coming out. God bless you and good night. They said, see you later. But it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. It's fun to have the shot at least. And, good job on your dad, just set you straight over there and say, nah, you gotta keep trying and you gotta give it your all.
That's life right there. I mean, right now we're all getting shaken up. I can't speak for anyone else. I'm getting shaken up by the pandemic. I mean, I'm in a house. My kids are trying to get the e-learning on. My wife's in the house. I love her to death. And I know we're talking about playing the field, nothing but love for you, baby. Yeah. But it's tough being all under one roof. It's like I'm a little bit, but I'm cramping my style. But we're all shaken up. And essentially it's, what do you do? How do you manage through that turbulence? It's kind of like baseball. When you're riding high, how do you keep that happy medium and stay on your grind? When you're going through a slump, which, believe you me, I've gone through my slumps before, how do you still keep that happy medium, stay on your grind, keep your mind right, your mind, your body, and your soul, so that you at least give yourself a chance at success? That's this 4-letter word we're all living called life. And it's kind of like my golf game. I'm Tiger Woods' cousin. I don't know if I told y'all, but I'm Larry Hit It in the Woods.
That's great.
That's awesome. So do you go out and golf to try and get some sanity through all this turmoil going on?
What you talking about, Willis? Come on, man. You must not know about me. I told you I was Tiger's cousin.
Wow.
I was supposed to be at the Masters this year, but they said, nah, brother, you can't even get in as a caddy this year. I'm a hacker. People ask me my handicap, and I tell them my whole game.
Yeah, well, I'm the guy that shouts out that he hit the par on the 18 and he only played 9. So
Close enough.
Close to
yeah.
Exactly.
So we're right in the same boat there. So I definitely feel you on that one. So let's talk a little bit about your. Well, you didn't grow up, much of a fan of the pro sports, but now you're a Panthers fan. They got their first win this week. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's good. So let's clarify. I wouldn't say I'm a Panthers fan by choice. It's by default. I take my son to
by
game.
geography.
There you go. Yeah.
Exactly. I'll be honest. I don't really have allegiance. So, I mean, I can tell you LaMarvelous and the Ravens, they hurt me. I was counting on him for my fantasy team. I won my match, but I had a chance to win high score, which has a little bit of money tied to it. And I was waiting for him to get loose. And I mean, can he get some blockers? Can he get some help? You're absolutely right. Kansas City does look strong, but Baltimore came out and they laid an egg. They look like the Orioles. I'm like, ugh. I had that James Harden face like, ugh.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I take my every year, and my father passed. It'll be 5 years ago in December. And essentially, my son, we do a father-son weekend where we go to Charlotte. We essentially try to do a basketball game, check out the hoops, and then we stay the night in a hotel, which for a 9, 10, 11-year-old, he's through the moon. We play a little bit of golf, top golf if we have to, real golf, and then we go to a Panthers game. And it's funny, the first game we went to, it was me, my son, and my wife. And my son at the time was a NASCAR fan. We had a neighbor that used to give him all these little race cars, Dale Jr., number 88. So number 88 was Greg Olson. And my son said, Dale Jr. It's like, nah, dog, wrong sport. He thought Dale Jr. was playing for the Panthers, number 88. It's like, come on, man, you got to tighten up, dog. Do some push-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
So, Larry, let's get into your career. Now, you're the director of collegiate sales for Teamworks. Is that right? So, tell us how you get into that. And is college sports really where your passion lies? I mean, is that where you really sort of your heart lies right there?
It does. So, I mean, I've been blessed. I've been in technology and software my whole career. Okay. I mean, I've sold to e-commerce retailers, doctors' offices, product managers, CPAs and accountants, all the exciting people. So now I'm joking. That's good. Now I can actually use sports analogies without someone's eyes glazing over. Right. I can actually talk about the NBA finals to my prospects and my clients, and they get it. We can talk about March Madness because they're going to March Madness. Right. I love it. So I get to lead a team. I've got 13 reps on our sales team that focus on college. We were founded by a former Duke football player. And being that I'm a Terp, there's some friction there, if you know what I mean. He doesn't like me repping my friends around when we were in the office. But I'm like, dude, unless you swag me out, I'm going to rock my Terps gear. And even if you do swag me out, it's going in the trash or I'm burning it. I don't have any love for Duke. To answer your question, yes, I love college athletics. I just love it because it's so – it's just that hard. And I'm not saying that the professionals don't, but it's just a whole different level. And it's interesting now with name, image, likeness coming up next year to see how that dynamic might change when you start talking about the greenbacks, because there's a lot of money that's out there in college amateur athletics, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because college amateur athletics, so to speak, but they've been amateur for a while. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But I feel the position that it's gotten to a point now where these schools make so much money. These coaches are paid so much money, and these kids are just getting a scholarship and a couple of free meals. Do you think it's time that the NCAA and even collaborating with the professional leagues start paying some of these kids who are performing at top levels? And here's the other question I have for you. If you have to pay one, obviously you have to pay more. How are you able to pay all these kids all this kind of money that's coming in? Like, are you able to facilitate that?
So I would say they're making the right move. There's a lot of money being made. And I don't know. You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. Now, the question is, do you have to pay them all? I mean, last time I looked, you don't have. I mean, your quarterbacks are getting contracts that your tight ends, for the most part, aren't getting. So if I'm Trevor Lawrence, are you going to pay the kicker? Nah, I'm the one putting up points. I'm the one dropping buckets. So it's one of those things where I think the market will dictate essentially the marketability, the brand. And we acquired a company called Influencer, which is really designed as a social media platform to help athletes tell their story and build their brand. Twitter, IG, TikTok, you name it. And next year in 2021 with name, image, likeness, it's super important to build your brand, to make yourself marketable and make yourself make these brands just salivate at the mouth because they want a piece of that action. So, I mean, just imagine Zion Williamson, after he dropped 26 points, 14 rebounds, how many eyeballs he has on his Twitter and how much pub he could have gotten for, I don't know, Marriott. What would they pay for those eyeballs and that captive audience? So it's going to be interesting. I got my popcorn outside. I'm going to watch in.
Well, luckily we got a podcast that they can
come on. Yeah, absolutely.
They can come on and talk to us and tell us all about those games and those experiences. So tell us a little bit about teamwork. Like what is it? What does it offer to these teams and athletic organizations?
Yeah, it's a communication hub, collaboration. If you can imagine, as a student athlete in college, as a professional athlete, we work with half of the big four. So NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL, we're working with the majority of those teams. Essentially, communication is critical. Right. And we've got a case study, Aaron Rodgers, talking about the new coaching staff and about how the culture changed as communication improved. You can't be on the same page if everyone's on different pages. So as a student athlete, a lot of places, I got to check text. I got to check email. I got to check GroupMe. I got to check Facebook Messenger. Some places, I think you talked about it earlier. I don't want to say names, but some places are still stuck in the Stone Ages where they're using carrier pigeon, smoke signal, and stone tablets. It's like, what? This is 2020. We're going into 2021. If you don't leverage these cell phones and communicate with your players, with your staff, with everyone else around the student athlete, leveraging this, you're missing out. If you're still using paper, come on now. What happens when the time of the bus changes? What do? You call the captains and you hope and pray that everyone gets the memo? No, everyone's got these devices with them. Why not send it through the device, which is teamwork? We make the dream work all in one place. And then I can see, Rick got the message. Mike didn't. Let me go ahead and call Mike. Hey, Mike, the bus is leaving at 2:00 instead of 4. Be there. You're going to have to run stairs, dog. And that's the genesis of how we were formed. Our CEO, he played football at Duke. He said, I'm tired of running stairs because I'm getting double and triple booked. And then I'm getting punished for these other people around me. The right hand doesn't know what the left foot is doing. Right. Come on, man.
No, absolutely. It's pertinent to have something right there, one centralized platform where you can have everything just come to. How big are these organizations? These organizations, especially when you're looking at an NFL team, like you got hundreds of people in the organization. And, if you have multiple channels that people have to go and check, that's really not efficient. So, absolutely.
So inefficient. It wastes time. It wastes a lot of paper. It's just, hey, if you think about it now, you can go into a gas station and order a sub at technology. Or essentially, I can order my food on my phone, and essentially it's ready before I even get there. Why not in athletics? Why not for communication? Why do I have to fill out my meal order form on the clipboard when I can just go to my phone and say bloop, 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 submit, and I'm good? That's the experience I'm looking for. And then the acquisition of Influencer, really helps us with our mission. Our mission is to empower and engage elite athletes. So we work with Olympic organizations. We work with some of the national governing bodies, Team USA Soccer, USA Lacrosse, USA Soccer. And we're working with over 3,000 total teams, helping them with their communication, collaboration, and now their social media presence.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, talking about centralized platform, a way for people to communicate. I'm going to do a little bit of a name drop to our sponsors, Play in the Field. We're trying to build a community platform where sports fans or athletes can come together, find other sports fans to be friends with, to go to games with, to go halves on season tickets with. Maybe you want to start a softball league and you don't know 10 people. Well, you go on Play in the Field and you find those 10 people that want to play with you, and you sign up for a softball league. And then obviously when it really started, it was the, find your MVP and romantic partnership through, having that same love of the game for sports. Talk to us a little bit about, that community outreach with, the players that you play with in Maryland, people that you work with, and how you guys bond over sports.
I love it. And Mike, when you first shared with me the idea and your business of Playing the Field, I instantly said, ding, 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 we got a winner. Because most of life is around relationships, true, genuine relationships, and finding that common ground. Just hearing y'all chopping it up about your Yankees, watching intensely what's going on, you have that shared bond. My wife is from Argentina, where it's nothing but football, soccer. I don't really get down with soccer. I have an appreciation, but that ain't my thing. But I love you building a community around commonalities, essentially the love. And sports fans are so fanatical. Your Yankees fans, you got the Mets fans, you got the Steelers fans. They're all rabid. It's crazy. And then internationally, so I took my wife to a UNC Maryland football game here at UNC. Okay. I was wearing all my Maryland gear. She was nervous. She said, we're going to get knifed up. I said, no, it's Argentina, baby. This is UNC. At the worst, they're going to throw some cheese and crackers at us, and I don't mind eating them. It'll probably be good. She said, because we were in the UNC section. I got the tickets from a boss of mine who's a big-time donor. So we're around some big bucks, and they didn't really appreciate that I was rocking my Maryland stuff. And we won the game, and I don't know if you can tell, I talk mad smack, and I'm loud. She was like, baby, be quiet, calm down. I'm like, I can't. Go Terps! So I love it. I absolutely love what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to joining the community and really interacting with folks that have a love for sports and a love for things that I love. Shoot, if you don't love sports, it's all good. But if you love sports, it's even greater.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Mike. No, I was going to say, because you talked about relationships and, the bond that you have with your son over sports. There's nothing like the bond of a father and a son, whether it's baseball or football, or just that sort of those moments you have with your son. So tell us a little bit about that, how you've grown closer with your son over sports.
We were just running routes today. I got my little Carolina Panthers football, mini football. Yeah. We're always out there. We took a little break for PE, and then we do our normal family walk. But sports binds us. It's a great bond. And growing up, my father was still competing in track, still working out. And I remember every game we watched, he always pulled for the underdog. That was his jam. It's like, who do you want to win? He's like, whoever is the underdog. And that my dad grew up in Baltimore City in the projects, only one from his family to graduate high school. So he was the underdog. He wasn't supposed to make it out. And that just, once you have that, it never leaves you. So he was always rooting for the underdog. For my son and I, we have a good old time. I like to gamble a little bit.
Here we go.
We play some friendly wagers on the games, and we talk a little bit of I talk a lot of smack. He lives in my house, so he knows better than to talk smack to me. But we put a little wager on who's going to win different games, and he likes to prod me. He knows that if he picks anyone but Maryland, he's going to get underneath my skin. And he's at that age where it's good to get under daddy's skin. My wife said, what if he gets a scholarship from Duke or Carolina? What happens? I said, well, he ain't going to be my son because he's got to go to Maryland. Nah, just kidding. Money talks. I said, how much money are they offering?
Exactly. Now you also talked. Now your wife. You said your wife is Argentinian. Now, have you gotten into soccer? I mean, soccer is getting pretty big in the U.S. Are you? Is it something you've been trying to get into at least to keep peace at the house for the most part?
Un poquito. So, I mean, we work with a couple teams in the English Premier League.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'll watch them and cheer them on. I mean, we always cheer on our clients, but soccer, it's just a different game. They call it the beautiful game, and it is. But essentially 1-1, 1-0.
Yeah, right.
I want to see 115 to 113. I don't want to see. I played 1 year of soccer and then I gave it up. I said, Mom and Dad, I got to give this up. They said, okay, you tried. And it didn't help them. My team lost every game. We were terrible. Ooh, we were bad. We were real bad. That was kind of like my episode of being on the swim team 1 year. And essentially 8 o'clock. As a kid, you aren't supposed to be jumping in cold water. That water was too cold. I said, I should be watching cartoons, eating my cereal, not jumping in this cold old water. Nah, I'm out of here. But yeah, man, you're absolutely correct. Soccer, it's just a different game. I mean, I appreciate the strategy of it, but give me a baseball, basketball, football, and even hockey game any day. And I watch golf before I watch soccer, but don't tell my wife.
Yeah, we'll keep it here in the circle of trust.
So we got somebody that's been following you all day here.
Is that a smoker? Yeah. Oh, I'm in trouble now.
No, you're all over the place, man. It's great. It's great. It's fun. Great to watch your content. Tomorrow, looking forward to that midweek motivational minute. It's an awesome time in the week. You're always bringing the heat. Always bringing the value.
I'm trying, man. I mean, it's one of those things.
They're saying definitely stuck.
It's all good. I appreciate you, Jacob. Appreciate you tuning in. But we're all blessed. We woke up this morning. I say it's always good to be 6 feet, or in my case, 5'9", and that's rounding up to be 5'9" over ground, then 6 feet underground. So every day you better carpe diem, seize the day, because we're not promised tomorrow. I think the millennials, they call it YOLO. You only live once. Well, we're on a yo-yo right now. We're going up and we're going down. Just ask the Tennessee Titans. Shoot, shut it down. The Vikings as well. So I mean, it's one of those things where each and every moment that I'm on this earth, I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to have fun. And I'm talking with you, Mike, you, Rick. Come on, man. That's the American dream.
That's right, baby. That's the American dream. Great country.
Yeah, absolutely. And, let's see what happens with the Titans and the Vikings and see if they are canceling games. But Rick said that, they intend to play. So, we'll –
I just hope
exactly. We just hope everyone is healthy and they can get past it as quickly as possible. Absolutely. So tell us about you. You also have something else that you're working on. RepVue.
There we go. You're good. You did your research.
Yeah, Mike.
I'm privileged because the founder of RepVue is my former chief revenue officer at a company called Channel Advisor, and he came to me and said, "Hey, I got this idea of being able to provide just access to pull back the covers, open up the hood in the sales organizations." I said, I love it. How can I help? He said, I'd love for you to help spread the word, get the word out there. And being a sales professional, it's so important because normally in sales, you go on an interview and you're talking to other salespeople and they tell you exactly what you want to hear. Nah, I want to know the real deal. I want to know, do you have a good product? Do you have a good organization? Am I going to get leads, or do I have to go out and get my own leads? Just be upfront. I want to know, what kind of money can I make? You're going to tell me on target earnings are 200,000. That's cool. How many people are actually making that? What percentage of the team is hitting goal? Essentially, it gives me the insight using data on what I can expect from a sales organization I absolutely love it. And we've been growing. It's kind of like that snowball effect where it's just been building and building and building. And it's so interesting because I also do motivation, inspiration, sales, keynote speaking, coaching, training, consulting on the side. And the companies get rated on their culture and their training. And it's just amazing that some of the companies have reached out and said, hey, Larry, we need your help. We understand that our training, our culture is in need of a third party. We're in need of an energy source to come in and shake it up. There's a saying, and I need y'all to help me out. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Yes, that's it. That's what the saying says. But survey says, nerd, if it ain't broke, break it. Break it up. Shake it up.
I like it.
We all got to be looking for areas that we can break it and improve. Nice. I mean, it's kind of like in sports. When you have a team, and I'm not a huge fan of the Patriots. My man Kim the Man is there. I love that. But essentially, Bill Belichick is a genius. Yeah. Every year, he's looking to break it up. I don't care if you're the quarterback. Love you to death, Tom. But you got to go. We're trying to break it up and trying to upgrade. Gronk, see you later. I mean, it is what it is. They're always looking to upgrade, which we all should be doing individually as well as organizations.
Yeah, Larry, it's funny. These organizations ask you to come in. Obviously, something's wrong with them. What do you think? Why do you think that is? All these big companies that make so much money, but yet they have so many people working these companies who are just like not happy, miserable, and then they have to reach out to somebody like you and say, "We need some new energy." What is it? The environment? Is it the demands of the company? When you've gone into these companies, what have you found out that it is that's wrong and that needs to be corrected?
Yeah, a lot of times it starts at the top. It starts at the top, and it's priorities. A lot of people talk a good game about we care about our people. That's great. But there's a saying that says your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying.
Right.
So it's great. I mean, we're seeing this right now with social justice. I hear a lot of companies talking about we care about all people. But when I look and I got my popcorn and I'm looking and I'm taking notes, I'm looking at your leadership. I don't see anyone that looks like me. I don't see anyone that looks like my wife. So I hear you talking. I used to own a baseball academy. And kids all the time would tell me, hey, Coach Larry, I want to play varsity. That's great. What are you doing? Do you have a tee at home? Yes. Everyone's got a tee at home.
Yeah.
When was the last time you used your tee? Oh, you can see it. The gears start turning and they're trying to figure out a lie. Last week, no, because essentially I can ask your mom and there's cobwebs all over your tea. You haven't sniffed a tea ever. Your parents bought you the tea. You haven't sniffed it.
Right.
I lived on the tea, and that came from my parents. They said, hey, they bought me this thing called a solo hitter. They put it up in my basement. The ball hung there, and you swung, and it came back. And essentially, my parents said, you're going to do your schoolwork. You're going to practice your clarinet. I played the clarinet. I wanted to be Kenny G, but my parents couldn't afford a saxophone. So they said, hey, take this clarinet. It's close enough. I said, hey, I'll take whatever I can take. I was squeaking. I used to get lost. We were in concerts, and I'll never forget Chris Dodson. He was the first string saxophone, and I was the last string clarinet. I'd get lost, and I'd just be there like this, and he'd be like, here you go, dummy. But essentially, it comes down to the top, and essentially their priorities. Do you really care about your people? And if you do, what are you doing? Not what are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you hoping? But how do you prioritize? How do you show them, especially now that we're remote? A lot of people are remote. I can tell you, you talked about it. There's a lot of disengagement. I have the conversations. There's a lot of sales professionals that are saying, hey, when the economy gets better and we rebound, I'm out of here. I'm going to chuck up the deuces. Maybe the deuces like that. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, it's just, I'm taking notes that as an organization, you got to show your people that you care. You got to give them opportunities to learn and grow, because essentially, I don't care how much you pay most people. If they're not fulfilled, if they're not proud of what they do, if they're not satisfied, at some point, they're going to be looking for going elsewhere. So how do you really take care of that whole person, mind, body, soul, take care of their pockets, which is important. But essentially, most people want to be challenged. They want to feel like the work that I do is important and is appreciated. And my daughter's in first grade. It really comes down to the basics, Rick. It's kind of like football. It's the blocking and tackling. I never played football. I thank my mom. I hope she's tuning in. I thank her now. At the time, I was mad. I was steaming because I would have been a beast of a running back.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would have been a beast. But essentially, football is such a rough sport. I mean, getting broken up. Yeah. They're just trying to kill people. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't play.
Yeah. Well, listen, Larry, I love the energy, the passion. I mean, for viewers who need some motivation, Larry, if you can give some final words for our viewers who just need, let's say who needs a pep in their step, who just need to hear some pick me up, some words, some wisdom. What can you share with them tonight?
Yeah, I would say that you can do it, because what happens is so many times it's that little voice in the back of our head. I don't know about y'all. Maybe I'm the only crazy one on here, but look at that, y'all. I think y'all feel me. I think you feel me.
No, we're crazy.
I'm with you. Back of our head.
I'm with you.
Don't do it. It's kind of like when I was playing baseball, going through that 1 for 24. You can't do it, Larry. I've been blessed because when I launched my business at the start of 2020, I had those same doubts. And luckily, my wife, she said, I got you, boo-boo. I got you. She knew that I was gun shy because my last business, it failed. And I don't want to take my wife and my kids through it. But essentially, my dad, he came back in my thoughts and he yanked me up again and said, boy, you've got to be courageous. You've got to believe in yourself and you can do it. So my message to everyone out there, you can do it. Leverage your support network. If you need a support network, holla at your boy. I'd love to help you. Write down your plan, get it in writing. When you write it down, it now becomes just a little bit more solid. And then from there, it's kind of like I go back to the Super Bowl when the Patriots were down big. Yeah. They made adjustments. They came back and they won the game. Sorry about Atlanta. We're still talking about Atlanta. Some things never change.
So it might not just be all the Patriots at that point. Then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not just be all the Patriots because obviously they can't do it even now. But yeah, the Patriots definitely did a good job on that with the adjustments. But Larry, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure to have you.
It was an honor, man. This was great.
Loving the energy, and I know we're going to be seeing you all over the social media, all over LinkedIn. Just again with the same energy tomorrow morning. So keep it all up, man, because you inspire people. I mean, I've definitely learned a lot from you from just following you for the past few months. So
I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for having me.
Peace, Larry.
Take it easy. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, Larry. Man, I wish he was in my office when I got to work in the mornings. I could use that around. I could use that around 8:30. I'm like, hey,
this guy's going from 8 o'clock in the morning. Now it's almost 10 o'clock at night.
That is incredible energy.
Still got that energy going, and it's admirable. I gotta work on that myself. Like to make sure I get it all. But it was a pleasure having Larry on. And
we need to get him back. Like when we're having rough days or we're just tired and dragging a little bit, gotta get him back in here, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So should we hit up news and notes? Or should we talk about our lovely well, top of the eighth.
Top 11-2 Yanks.
I mean, it's not over, but
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're well in control of this one. Let's talk about Mr. Adam Gase. Actually, you know what? Let's not talk about Adam Gase.
No,
we're on too much of a high. I don't even want to talk about him. He's not even worth the time.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Go.
It's time to put an end to this. Mike, you know what's going to happen Thursday night? They're going to come out. It's going to be competitive for about a quarter. And then some guy with the last name Rippon, who's a third-string quarterback and the nephew of the great Mark Rippon, who played for the Washington football team and won a Super Bowl, is going to find a way with literally no players. They're going to find a way to beat the Jets, probably by 20 points. And at the end of the day, you got to cut cords. But this disaster, you can't let, Joe Douglas also escape all this. Enough with the Mike McCagnon gave him a barren roster. Enough of the bad drafts. Dude, you had a year and a half to set up your draft. You had a draft. In the fourth round, you drafted an unproven quarterback. In the third round, you drafted defensive end floor, who was on the IR. In the second round, you drafted Denzel Mims, and he can't get on the field. Ashton Davis again in the 3rd round, a safety. He's not even playing. He's out, pulled groin. At least you drafted a punter in the 6th round who did something. So I mean, this is just a colossal disaster from the top on down. But Joe Douglas can't escape some. He can't escape some criticism here, man. Like, that draft was ripe to get playmakers for Sam Darnold. Yes, you got Mekhi Becton, but you had to get him some receivers. You got to get him some speed guys, and you didn't do it. And now look what's happened, man. The guy's about to get run out of the league. He's 23 years old in his 3rd year. Mind you, he's had horrible coaching. If you notice, Ryan Tannehill's having career years now, throwing the ball over the place, having fun. And Sam Darnold was just dying. Josh Allen killing it in Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes doing it great. Quarterbacks all over the league. Burrow, Herbert, what have you, throwing the ball. And Sam Darnold was just – he's in a rut, man, and it's time for Adam Gase to go. That guy should never be around young quarterbacks. Don't put him around a college team because all he does is destroy the teams. It is a disaster. And that's my 2 cents on my beloved Jets.
Let's just hit the road. Hit the road, Gase. It's just the experiment is over. It should have never started to begin with. I said it 2 years ago when they signed him. So did the majority of Jets fans, yet they still signed him as the head coach. So let's just hope that they actually hold to their word and get rid of him after this game.
Yes.
That's all we could hope for. So let's so obviously we expect them to not cover the spread of the +3 on Thursday night. I'm assuming.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah. Denver with the third string quarterback in the Meadowlands are still gonna beat the Jets and by more than 3 points. Okay, so let's touch on some news and notes. The Yankee game is almost over, so that's this one. We touched on the Titans and the Vikings a little bit. The Titans had how many? Five, correct?
Five. Was it 5 players or something like that?
I thought it was 5 in total.
5 in total, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I think it was 2 players and 3 personnel.
Yeah.
But yeah, tested positive for COVID. They played the Vikings this past weekend, and the Vikings are going to have to get tested as well. And they expect games to be played and not to have to cancel the Titans game and the Vikings game, but that remains to be seen. It's still a long week away. Still got 5 more days till either of those teams play. So we'll have to watch that. Let's just hope everyone is happy, healthy, and let's hope we can get on with not having to cancel games. But if we have to, then we have to.
Here's the thing, though, and here's the good thing about it is this is week. We're entering week 4. I mean, we're a quarter of the season in, and we've only had these outbreaks. So the guys are following the protocol. It doesn't look like they're going out and getting into situations where they could spread the disease. And from the looks of things, they're going to be canceling games. So that's a good thing. And I think, look, the leagues so far they've done the right things. They find coaches who don't wear masks. They find organizations if protocols aren't being followed. So, and I think there's going to be a game this weekend. I don't see how the NFL postpones this game. I think as long as nobody else, there's not a full-on outbreak on the teams, I think we'll have games. So I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I hope so. You know what? I do got to touch on something.
Go ahead.
Last night, John Harbaugh, no mask, and screaming and spitting in the referee's face. Like, I don't know if he got fined, but if you're supposed to be trying to keep COVID at bay, you're not spitting in somebody else's face. I mean, how is that something that can go, unnoticed? I don't know. I didn't read up to see if he got fined or anything like, the fines that they laid out last week. Yeah. But come on, that's just a little extreme.
That's bad.
I understand that you're upset, but come on.
I think he lost his head there, man. He just lost his head and said, you know what? F this. I'm going to let him have it. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get fined. The team's going to get fined. Yeah. But you have to know, I mean, like, I get it. It's passion and emotion.
Yeah, of course.
But you got to know your surroundings and what's going on here. You can't be spitting on the ref and just, like, losing your mind. And
is it me, or did you actually see – Oh, did you see a miss? You saw a miss coming out, right?
All over the place, yeah. They got to get him the visor one. That's the one they got to get him. The visor, he can let it rip all he wants. He can spit it himself.
Yeah, it's
but it's just
I was looking at it. I'm like, are you serious right now? He's spitting at him. But what else we got for news and notes today. We touched on a big one. Obviously, Adam Gase is almost out the door.
Talked about that. We talked a little about NBA Finals that started.
The Panthers got their first win last week. We touched on that.
Yeah, we touched on that.
The Falcons we touched on, but a couple of pretty good games and tight games and come from behind games. The Bengals and Eagles can't beat one another. They tied yet again. They tied a few years ago too. The Bengals and Eagles. The Rams and the Bills game was interesting though, and that's another guy that I think is in the running for an early season MVP. I don't know if he'll actually get it, but Josh Allen is playing lights out right now.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. I mean, they're up in that game. The Rams come back, and he just decides, you know what? I'm taking this thing over, man. Running all over the place, throwing darts all over the place. Something that, I wish the Jets had. But the guy's a star. It's week 3 already. You can see he's a star. He's got that it factor, man. Like the guy, he's on the field. The presence is there. Like the team is confident that if they could be down 25 points, as long as he's on the field and he's leading the team, they know he's going to come back. So he's going to be a star in this league. You can just see it. I mean, Buffalo has found their quarterback. They've been looking for a quarterback since Jim Kelly, and they found him, and the kid's going to be a star. I mean, he's incredible, man. He's got a cannon for an arm. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, another news, I mean, the Saints lost and the Buccaneers won. So the Buccaneers are in first place, right?
Yeah. Bucks look, they're playing well. They beat the Panthers. I mean, they're 2-1. Brady's starting to come into his own a little bit, but it's the first quarter of the season, so they got a long way to go, but they're starting to find themselves. So it's going to be interesting, that NFC South. The Saints, though, man, what's going on over there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, not having Michael Thomas is hurting them a little bit, for sure. The Cardinals at home got upset by the Lions. That was a little surprising to me.
They showed some heart. The Lions.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that, but I have to say that the Seattle Seahawks look like the favorite to win that division. All the talk of it being a very tough division, but San Francisco with a whole bunch of injuries. I can't wait to see the first Seattle-San Fran game.
I got to say, man, Kyle Shanahan is a tremendous coach. The guy literally has. Garoppolo. Who else was there? What's tight end's name? Is it George Kittle?
Yeah,
he's hurt. Raheem Mostert was hurt. I mean, the guy had nobody playing pretty much, and he's gotten into MetLife. And mind you, he's played the Jets and the Giants, but he's still with backups and Nick Mullins. He's still able to lead that team to a couple of victories, and they're just holding water. They're just treading water right now. When they get their people back, they're going to be tremendous. But that guy's a hell of a coach, man.
No, absolutely. They did lose to the Cardinals, and then they beat the Jets and the Giants. So, yes, it was with half a team. They still have a lot of pieces, but the way that Russell Wilson is playing offensively is going to be tough for them to overcome that in that division. That's my opinion. I think Russell Wilson and the Seahawks take that division fairly easily, I feel.
We'll see, man. Let's see if San Francisco gets healthy. Don't count out the Rams either. I mean, they lost last week, but they're playing tough. But you're right, Russell Wilson right now. I mean, the guy is he's in his zone, man. I mean, he's just.
Their defense gives up a lot, the Seahawks, but they have such an explosive offense. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch. It's like watching Mahomes operate a little bit. So, but yeah, let's is that it for news and notes? I think we're
good. I think
we're pretty set.
Yankees are blowing out the Indians. So
11-2. Game's over. Game's over. Tomorrow, Larry Long's going to meet my New York Mets on the golf course.
Oh, look at that! Tell them to pass the word. See if they want to come on the show.
Yeah. Tell Pete Alonso when you see him tomorrow.
Yeah, tell Pete we got a couple questions for him.
When you guys are both in the woods, trying to dig out your balls. He's backstage. He's loving it right now.
Tell Pete grab a chair. We got a couple questions we want to ask.
Let's get him on for a second.
Yeah, final thoughts. Final
Yeah.
thoughts on that. Yeah.
All right.
Final thoughts,
Y'all got
Larry.
me dying over here.
Yeah, final thoughts.
Oh man, y'all are crazy. I love this show.
Yeah, tell Pete we say hi.
Thank you very much for the positive feedback. We love it.
Oh, I guess he's Tiger's cousin too. Pete hit it in the woods.
He hits it. He hits it farther than the woods in baseball, at least. But
Yeah. All right.
He hits it into the third fairway. But again, Larry, thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you for the energy,
coming
the passion.
on.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking, and hope we can catch us every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
No doubt. You can count on me. I'll be checking y'all out.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Larry.
Have a good night.
Night.
Peace.